Special report. India and China sought Wednesday to de-escalate tensions after a battle on the border high in the Himalayas left 20 Indian soldiers dead and many more wounded. We will go over the history of this battle in Kashmir and Jammu, as well as the points of contention between the two powerhouses. The argument over Kashmiri land has been one of the points of tension between India and Pakistan since their independence from colonial England in the late 1940s. Fighting over the land has disrupted Indian and Pakistani friendship. After the independence, the United Kingdom created the Islamic Republic of Pakistan and the Liberal Indian Union. The division based on religious beliefs is an intelligent concept, especially from the perspective of people seeking the secular life of a modern democracy in India. After India had been divided, the two northern border states of Kashmir and Jammu were stuck in the middle between the two powers. These two were governed by Hindu local rulers named Maharaja. Kashmir and Jammu were majority Muslim principalities. As the Indian Union was predominantly secular with multiple creeds, Pakistan was clearly the beacon for Islam on the subcontinent, where it spanned India across the subcontinent to include Bangladesh until 1971. Post-independence, the principalities were undecided as to which state to join. Guerrillas from Pakistan invaded the Kashmir region to bring it into the Pakistani nation. The Indian Union quickly invaded in 1947 in order to quell the violence. The two-year war was resolved in Kashmir's division into the line of control, which is still recognized today. The Indian-controlled area of Jammu and Kashmir became a state within the country of India. They took the role of autonomous states, much like Catalonia or the Faroe Islands. This gave Kashmir and Jammu significant powers to manage their own affairs without significant interference from India. Pakistan took the province of Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. While this discussion mainly takes place in the context of state actors, non-state actors play a large role in this conflict. Over 100,000 people have died as a result of terror attacks by Muslim extremists against Indian targets. We will chronicle some of these attacks as we go on. During the 1950s, the Chinese government began building a road through the Aksai Chin region of Kashmir in order to reach Tibet. The Indian government did not notice the road until much later. This brought China into the conflict as we see today. In 1962, China attacked Indian positions inside Kashmir as well, but were ultimately repelled. In 1965, Pakistan helped fortify their Bangladeshi holdings against the Indian nation, which were aiding Bangladeshi freedom fighters. Pakistan lost their holdings of Bangladesh again as a result of India's aid, and Bangladesh became an independent nation. As a result of the buildup on the line of control and their own supranational inclinations, both India and Pakistan have embraced nuclear armament as a method of deterrence. This arms race has heated to the point of boiling over a few times. In 1984, Pakistan attacked again over India's Siachen Glacier. In 1998, the Champanari massacre occurred with 25 Hindu villagers being killed by Islamic militants. In 1999, Pakistan attacked again over military posts on the line of control. Pakistan and India signed a ceasefire in 1999. However, in 2006, militants massacred 35 Hindus in Doda and Udhampur districts in Jammu and Kashmir. During the course of the 1990s and 2000s, China and Pakistan have formed an alliance of sorts against India. This has included the continuation of the Silk Road through Pakistan in order to accelerate trade. During this time, the Chinese government also built a fortified base near Aksai Chin, complete with lookout towns. With China's economic colonialism in the Himalayan sphere, with $57 billion of investment in infrastructure and energy projects in Pakistan, the late 2010s have brought India and China into full conflict over the Aksai Chin region. In August 2017, India and Chinese forces near Pangong Tso threw rocks at each other. On September 11th of 2019, the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, troops confronted Indian troops on the northern bank of Pangong Lake. Then, in a continued face-off in May and June of 2020 between Indian and Chinese troops near the same lake, Pangong Tso Lake, culminated in a violent clash on June 16th with at least 20 deaths from the Indian side and no official reported deaths from the Chinese side. Both sides claimed that provocation came from one another. Pakistan is in favor of the implementation of the 1948 UN resolution. The 1948 resolution called for an independent plebiscite. Pakistan expects that if the vote is held, the Muslim majority will vote to accede with Pakistan. Moreover, the Pakistan feels that the first Indian Prime Minister Nehru promised to give the people of Kashmir the right to choose their fate, but it was never fulfilled. 70 years later, the Indian nation does not even consider the conflict in Kashmir a bilateral issue between the two countries and is no longer considering a plebiscite. Pakistan is looking for international help using third-party intervention like the United Nations. Another contention for Pakistan, which means land of the pure, was coined by its founding father, Jinnah. It's also said that Pakistan stands for the four provinces of the country: Punjab, Kashmir, Baluchistan, and Sindh. Pakistan is certain that Kashmir's accession to India is a wrong that must be corrected and only exists as a result of Lord Mountbatten, which was the last viceroy of the subcontinent who was biased because of India due to his friendship with Nehru. It is a really expensive and bloody conflict which neither can win. 70 years on, there is no permanent solution in sight for Pakistan. In India, they believe that the accession was legal and that it is one and the same with the Indian country, with the country of India. It maintains that they can only discuss bilateral situations as a result of the 1972 Simla Agreement. India believes that Pakistan's concern for the wrong Kashmiri Muslims is only a convenient excuse to annex the state of India, especially in the context of the Kashmiri separatists, which have violent clashes between the different Muslim groups, such as the Sindhis, Malhairs, Punjabis, and others that rage within the region and within Pakistan as a whole. India believes that the diversity of Kashmir is a symbol of secularism and a modern democracy. Despite India being 85% Hindu, it grants ethnic and religious minorities equal rights for the most part, which include a 120 million strong Muslim population. The other concern for India is that the loss of Kashmir could lead to a cascading domino effect of more regions within India succeeding, including the Sikhs and, of course, the Tamils. With this, it may indicate that the Muslims within the Indian state were never true Indian citizens. Most Indians believe also that the Kashmiri people are not the mischief makers within Kashmir and Jammu, but the Inter-Services Intelligence Directorate of Pakistan is the true cause of the problems within the country.